name than that, but it's close to like waffles. We are live. Awesome. Okay, so welcome everybody. I am not Chandra Easton, Lopan Chandra Easton, obviously. I'm Michael Taft, subbing for Lopan Chandra Easton, who is away having finished her book. So she's celebrating. And sometime in like, I don't know, it must have been August or something. I'm like, sure, in December I'll sub for you. And now it's here. So here I am subbing for her, which I'm very honored and happy to do. Who else is coming in? So on the other hand, I don't have a harmonium tonight, and we're not going to do that form of chanting. So we'll do a little bit more along the lines of movement and mantra and meditation, and less kirtan. Even though kirtan is wonderful, we won't be doing that tonight. I'm not. I'm rusty on the harmonium. It's been a long time, so we won't be doing that tonight. But we will start out with some movement. So let's do some movement together. And if you've never been to my Thursday night, we do movement then also. And my continuous refrain is move in a way that feels good for your body, right? Don't do anything that, like, even if I'm doing something, don't necessarily do that something unless that feels good, right? So it's up to you to like make sure you're staying within your limits and not hurting yourself and so on. Okay. So the cool thing with, yogic practices like this is we kind of start with our body and then move into energy practices and get subtler and subtler and subtler until we're meditating, right? So the idea here is that we're starting out with the grossest level, or the most physical level, and getting that kind of going and feeling good, and then gradually moving until we get subtler and subtler and subtler into our meditation. Okay? But the idea here mainly is not the kind of American notion of stretching. We're not stretching, especially cold. We're not going to just sit here and stretch. So it's not like yoga for stretching or to get super flexible or something. Instead, it's feeling good in your body. Do stuff that feels nice and helps your body to feel good, right? So it's a different mood than like, I'm going to stretch. Okay? So even though we will stretch, it's stretching in order to feel good. And I want to make that kind of distinction, right? So let's start out just by taking a nice deep in-breath and holding our hands up and breathing with our hands up. So don't hold your breath here, and looking up. And then if you want to, you can get on your toes and stretch up a little bit and just feel how that feels good. Oh, there's a real breeze up here. Way high up at the top of the room. And yeah, if you want to, you can move your arms a little bit. We don't have to be too serious about this. Can wave back and forth a little bit. Keep breathing though. People tend to hold their breath up here. Don't do that. And you can lean back a little bit and lean to the side. Again, just stuff that feels nice. It's not like, oh, I've got to find my furthest range of motion or whatever. Just remember you have a body and move it. Right? And then breathing in, let's bring it down. And if you can, touch the floor. If you can't, that's okay. Let your head dangle. And again, remember to breathe. And just kind of move your pelvis in a circle so that you're getting a light stretch on each side of your sacrum. but it feels nice. It's feeling the suppleness and openness of the sacrum. You can make little circles with your knees, does something similar. Good, and then breathing, come up. And let's make some nice stars like this, and then just come to one side. You can go way down if you want, but again, not necessary. Keep breathing. Oh, and then coming up. And just feel with your breath that you're filling the body with energy, filling the body with prana. And notice that as you breathe, it's helping the body to feel more loose and open. Okay, let's do some hula hoops. Arms out. And you can do it in one direction or both directions. But the idea again is feeling how nice this feels when it's just helps the whole pelvic region just become like unbound and relaxed. Especially if you've been sitting in a chair all day, this is going to feel really nice. So don't hold back, just continuing to breathe. Do these hula hoop circles and let it feel really nice. Notice how even that kind of motion just starts to open your mind a little bit. It's non-rigid, right? When we move our body in a loose, open way, our mind starts becoming loose and open because it's really one system. It's really one thing. Okay, then with your arms, I'll do these. Again, we're going to do circles, but not like, do pleasant, relaxed circles that make your shoulders feel good. You can feel your shoulder blades, opening and feeling mobile. If you sit at a desk enough, your shoulder blades get like glued to the inside of your back. So you want to feel those shoulder blades loosening and opening and getting nice and mobile again, blood flowing in there. So notice I'm not doing any like rigid motion. I'm doing like kind of just free form along the idea of opening your back. Right? And then again, breathing up. Okay. And just kind of do nice, we're going to do this, right? It's barely a motion, but you're kind of moving your weight from foot to foot while twisting a little bit. So move your weight back and forth also, like this. And just swing your arms. Again, noticing the bilateral movement and the twisting and swinging. It's just bringing that sense of relaxed, open presence. So often if we do like proper yoga or proper exercises, we get a little rigid in our mind. So we're de-rigifying the mind here by being just a little bit relaxed about it all. Okay. Then let's do our necks. You can do that however you want. Everyone's neck is so individual. You don't have to do it in any particular way, but again, not necessarily trying to stretch as much as loosen, relax, and open the neck. Mine sounds like a bucket of gravel. It feels fine, but it always sounds like a steel bucket full of gravel. But the visualization you should be having is not that, but rather your neck is made of water. It's just like completely loose, completely fluid like water. Okay. And then let's come back to this for just a minute. So again, that's that centrality of the spine and pelvis is really important. So just loosen that up again, because that can get a little tight when we're moving our necks. Okay, and then the last two, we'll do get down on your knees like this. And we're just going to stretch the front of our body. I like this stretch for whatever reason. Only do as much of this as feels good to you, but at least come back to like here, so you're feeling some stretch. You can just sit down if that starts to get the stretch there, or you can stay up in kind of a thing like this, or you can go all the way down if that feels good. It's especially nice when you don't bash your head into a table because you moved it in advance. Good, and then come up on your knees again, and you can do this kind of rocking thing I'm doing, which, again, I'm just following what feels good, really relaxed, really at ease, letting this kind of just open up the sacrum, open up the spine. And then if you know Baddha Konasana, I'll do that. Baddha Konasana. So, sitting up straight if you can while holding your feet. Again, only if it feels good. But this is always nice for meditation stuff. And you do the variation where we kind of lean one way to get a stretch on one side and lean the other way. You can lean forward, pull yourself forward, and then allow yourself to go back a little bit, but try not to fall backwards. And you were already doing a couple people were doing the flying, so feel free to flap your wings and soar. This is how we levitate. If you do it fast enough, you'll levitate. Every once in a while, you see a yogi parking in the mall this way, just flying into the parking lot. Okay, there we go. And just notice that again, just sit here for a minute in an informal way. Don't get in your meditation posture. Just feel your body. Just feel how it feels to be embodied. And if you feel a little bit of a sense of being a little looser, a little more open, a little more relaxed, a little more at ease in the physical. And just letting that feel good. You don't even have to sit still yet, right? You can just kind of move with it. Feel what the energy wants to do. Again, it's not so much about stretching as it is about feeling what feels good with the energy in your body. For some reason, I felt like leaning on this. That feels good right now. And we could almost go into a whole routine with one of the, like extra. But we won't do that tonight. Okay. All right. So then Just come up into a nice sitting posture. If you're sitting in a way that is congruent with what we were just doing, you're going to find yourself maybe in a slightly different posture than you're normally in, because you want to find a way of sitting that your body feels really nice. So it's not so much about like the martial, like sitting, as it is about finding a seated quality that maintains that sense of openness and ease and pleasantness in the body, while the added feature here, because we're meditating or we're doing practices, the added feature is a real sense of stability, right? A real feeling of groundedness and being connected to the earth. So let's start there for a minute and just open up in imagination to Mother Earth, to the energy of Earth, and allow the energy, allow your mind to travel all the way to the center of the Earth, all the way to the core of the Earth, and feel that flow of Earth energy, the grounding energy, all the way coming up into your body and into your heart. And just feel that real sense of sitting like a mountain, that energy of immovability, that energy of permanence and even nobility, I would say. That comes from the earth energy. It feels really nice and adds that pleasant sense of groundedness to what we're doing. Okay? Very good. So in my class on Thursday, we've been doing some mantra chanting, just a little tiny bit, but we're going to do quite a bit more in here tonight. But we'll use the same mantra that I've been working with in the other class, which is the Om Mani Padme Hum mantra. So the mantra to Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva of compassion. And so probably you all know that already, but just in case you don't, it has 6 syllables. Starts with Om, then Mani, so that's 3 already, Om Mani, and then Padme Hum. So Om Mani Padme Hum. And it's a super interesting mantra. It appears in one of the very first texts. That's a Mahayana text. It's not a tantra, it's a sutra. So it's still very, very early. And is a mantra for the Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara. And of course, Avalokiteshvara is the Bodhisattva of compassion. The 3 really, really important bodhisattvas in this way of working would be Avalokiteshvara and Manjushri and Vajrapani. And of those 3, typically Avalokiteshvara is the most revered, right? Because of the importance of compassion in this way of working, and also because just as a bodhisattva energy, Avalokiteshvara is so central to what we're doing. And as you may know, many mantras require like an initiation or, like a secret ritual or some kind of abhisheka or whatever before you're empowered to use the mantra. But because Avalokiteshvara is the Bodhisattva of compassion, there are no rituals needed to be able to use this mantra. It's open source. Everyone's welcome to use it to its full potency. So that's That's the background on this mantra. And of course, it's the, how in the States we have like a state flower and a state tree and a state bird, but in Tibet they have a national mantra, right? The national mantra is this mantra, Avalokiteshvara mantra. So I don't know what the state mantra of California would be, but I'm sure it's AI generated or something. But currently, I'm proposing that the state mantra of California be the Avalokiteshvara mantra. So we're gonna get that going tonight. Now, there's different ways to chant this. If you're here on Thursday night, we kind of do one ring of the gong for each round of the mantra. We're not going to do that. If you chant it in like a Japanese temple or in like a Shinzen retreat, they're doing it first thing in the morning at like 5:30 in the morning. And so they do it in this way to wake up and have energy. So they're going like I forget what you call the thing. It's like a wooden fish, basically. And on the other hand, you've got one of these, but without the rubber part, it's just a wooden stick. You've got a wooden fish and you're just going whack, 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 really loud. And Shinzen will chant it like, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme. And everyone's saying it as loud as they can to just build energy, to get you ready to like meditate all day because you just woke up. So it's like really intense and it gets faster and faster as you go along. So we're not going to do either of those two ways. What we're going to do is chant the mantra together at a medium speed without the gong. We'll start with the gong, but then we won't gong on each one. And then after a while, after minutes of doing it, we'll then I'll tell you when we'll switch to doing it silently, which is, even though it's as a group, it's really powerful to chant. When you then take it in and do it silently, it's considered to be even much more powerful. In the way of mantras, there's the part of the mantra that is actual language, like human language. It has semantic content, and that's the part that says Mani Padme, which means jewel lotus. But the Om and the Hum are seed syllables, right? They're vibrational-based, non-semantic content having syllables. Okay, so they don't mean anything in human language, but they have energetic meaning. And so we want to chant them in a particular way, which is with a lot of tone, a lot of vibration. So just like you've often heard people chant Om, it's Om, and you're humming that really with a lot of vibration. And then we still tone the Mani Padme, but not as much. Mani Padme. And then very intense, super powerful seed syllable. It's actually the seed syllable for the Dharma Protector Mahakala. Right? So it's really intense. Is hum at the end. Hum. And so we vibrate that hum, right, to get that energy. So those two seed syllables are really important, and they are not the same sound. Like often when I'm listening, I'm hearing people say something like Om Mani Padme Om, and that's close, but it's Om Mani Padme Hum, Hum, and getting that hum is bringing that real Dharma Protector energy. So it's really, really quite a beautiful mantra. So let's do that together. And I'll just demonstrate. We'll go, I'll ring the bell just the first time, and then we'll go, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, like that. And I would like you to do it with a lot of energy, so rather loudly and feeling the vibration. We're going to do it for a long time. Okay, so just settle in, and it's really easy to start getting kind of quiet. And so you'll hear me like, on a galley or something. I'll be like, do it louder. So we keep up the energy. Okay, so here we go. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Quite a bit louder. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Really feel that vibrating your body. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. So again, this is not singing, it's toning. So get real vibrational. Om Mani, like it's vibrating. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Louder. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Feel it dissolving your mind. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Now take the mantra inward, continuing to repeat it in your mind as slowly or quickly as you like, but continuing to vibrate those seed syllables, Om and Hum, in such a way that you feel the energy coursing through your being. You'll feel the vibratory energy clearing your mind, settling your body, and bringing that sense of heart opening from the bodhisattva of compassion. So in your mind, you're repeating Om Mani Padme Hum as slowly or as quickly as you like. And we're going to do that together again for a while here. Feel the energy of the mantra vibrating at the level of the heart, opening the heart, relaxing the defensiveness, connecting with all beings everywhere. Stay with the mantra. It's taking up all the space of thought in the mind. Repeat it in such a way that no other thoughts can come in. good. And now just notice how that feels. The mantra of Avalokiteshvara, settling your being, opening your heart, bringing a real sense of balancedness and peace to the system. Now we're going to do some pranayama, something like the pranayama you do with Lopan Chandra, but a little different. We're going to do the just lom vilom, alternate nostril breathing. If you know how to do that, just go ahead and do it. Otherwise, I'll demonstrate. So you want to use your thumb and then these two fingers. And you're going to basically breathe in one nostril, close it off, breathe out the other one, then breathe in that one, close that off, and breathe out the other one, the first one. So in, out, then in this side and out. And that's one round, right? And it's hard to do if your nose is plugged. So just, if your nose is plugged, just do Ujjayi breath. Anyone have a plugged nose right now? Okay, so no one needs Ujjayi breath. So we're going to start with the left nostril open. Breathing in, deep, deep, deep. Then you close the left nostril, breathe out the right. Long, slow, deep out breath. Then breathe in that same nostril. Using these two fingers to hold that close. Then use the thumb to close the right nostril, breathe out the left. So that's one round. So let's just keep going with that. In through the left. Close that nostril, breathe out the right. Breathe in the right. Close the right, breathe out the left. That's round two. So just keep going with this at your own pace. If you want to, you can continue to recite the mantra. It's kind of a nice thing to do with your mind while you're doing this. But notice this alternate nostril breathing is a kind of bilateral stimulation of the brain, and it has similar effects. You'll find yourself getting a feeling of balance and harmony and real settledness. It's quite nice. So we're going to do this also for a similar amount of time. So just settle in with it. Use the mantra to keep your mind nice and clear. And just feel that breath in the body, how the breath is moving in the body. And the pleasantness, this should feel real nice and pleasant. If you want to do it in a slightly more challenging way, let the out breath be quite a bit longer than the in breath, but only if that feels good. Try not to have your head leaning way forward. Sit up straight. If you can't do the alternate nostril breathing, then do Ujjayi breath, where you're breathing normally on the in-breath, and then on the out-breath, you're making a sound with your throat, like okay. Now begin to bring that to a close, making sure you don't end with the breath going out the left nostril, because we started with it going in. So you want to complete the round with the out breath on the left nostril. And then just allow yourself to begin to feel your body again, noticing how that feels and how balanced and tonified and peaceful that feels after doing that alternate nostril breathing. It has that effect of really chilling the system out in a very pleasant, bright manner. And now I want you to imagine that you pick up a pebble off the ground. You're sitting like a mountain, so a mountain has pebbles on it. Pick up a pebble and throw it into the sky. See that in your mind. Throw the pebble up in the sky, up into the sky. And then the pebble vanishes and there's just sky. And so your mind is just wide open like a vast sky. And just feel the breath coming and going in the sky of the mind. Allowing the mind to stay very naturally broad, panoramic, wide open, with just this wave of the breath rising and falling as a kind of anchor. And if the mind begins to congeal around anything like a particular thought or a particular feeling, even focusing strongly on the breath, just let go of that. Just relax again and come back to being naturally open, vast, panoramic, sky-like awareness, naturally boundless, easy and effortless, with simply the breath wave coming and going, rising and falling in the sky of awareness. The mind, without any effort, stays wide open and panoramic. If it starts to tighten up, that's because it's tightening on purpose. And so just relax, just let go of the tightening, and it will just fall wide open again. If it starts to crimp and tighten around a thought, just relax. If it starts to narrow into focusing on anything at all in a tight way, just relax. Let it be broad, panoramic, open, free. The natural mind is free, not stuck on anything. The mind is free, not stuck on anything. Absolutely vast and open. Now, into the sky of the mind, allow an enormous diamond to appear. A huge, beautiful diamond with hundreds and hundreds of facets, glinting and shining and brilliant in this wide open sky of the mind. And this diamond is glowing from within with the energy of compassion. And this is the energy, this diamond represents the energy of Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva of compassion, whose mantra we've been doing. And this is the energy that destroys all suffering, that liberates all from sorrow, that brings love and peace and joy and health and freedom to all beings. And so on the in-breath, I want you to picture the suffering of people you know, animals you know, coming into the diamond, coming in towards the diamond, and then being vaporized on its surface, absolutely burnt to a crisp, burnt to nothing, with no remainder. There's no smoke, there's no ash. Suffering's utterly eliminated. And then on the out breath, the diamond radiates love and peace and healing and joy and kindness and healing and caring to each of those beings. So on the in-breath, the diamond destroys all suffering. On the out-breath, it bestows compassion, kindness, healing, love. And see that, if you can, very clearly over and over again. The sorrows, the difficulties, the suffering, the problems of beings you know being eliminated by the power of this diamond of compassion. And then again, see each of those beings being healed and relieved of their sorrows and brought to joy and a feeling of kindness and caring from the power of this diamond of compassion. And if you want to, you can continue to chant the mantra internally, Om Mani Padme Hum, since that is considered to be equivalent. It literally is the Bodhisattva of compassion. The mantra has the energy of the Bodhisattva of compassion. They're not separate. So see this transformation is taking place. As clearly as you can, and feel that love and joy and kindness and caring and healing and peace radiating out, to each of these beings. And you're a being too, so you can include yourself. Each in-breath eliminating all suffering, each out-breath radiating out infinite compassion. Feel that love and kindness opening up your being even more deeply, even more totally, as the energy of the Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara heals and blesses you with love and caring and kindness. So you open up even more, and the diamond shines even more brightly. And as it shines even more brightly and powerfully, you begin to be able to show a wider sphere of concern, allowing the energy to take up the suffering of all the beings in the entire world, all people, all animals, all trees, all beings of every kind, visible and invisible. Their sufferings being instantly eliminated without any trace by the compassion of Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara. And then their hearts filled, their beings filled with kindness, caring, love, joy, healing, peace, as the diamond radiates outward on the outbreath. Keep up with the visualization. Don't get lazy. Keep going. Feel the energy of compassion, kindness, caring, joy radiating out. And on an in-breath, take the diamond into your heart and let it shine from there. Continuing the same process, but now from within your own heart. And now radiating even more brightly, let it eliminate the sufferings of all beings on all planets, in all universes. So there's no suffering hiding anywhere in any universe. And the radiating love and kindness and caring and connectedness and peace and healing reaches everywhere there is, and every being that exists. A limitless field of infinite kindness, infinite sweetness and caring. Even one touch of this is enough to bring sweet relief. to heal the wounds of the spirit, to uplift the soul, to free the mind. And now let that diamond shining bright collapse to a point the size of an atom, continuing to shine intensely brightly in the heart, a single atom in the heart shining with the same brilliance, tremendous brilliance. And then it vanishes completely, leaving only peace. Good. Let's end the meditation there. Feel free to move and stretch. Let your body feel good. Notice how you feel. And just let the vibration of the Om Mani Padme Hum and the vibration of the Bodhisattva of compassion to continue to resonate through your being. Just feel how that feels. Again, traditionally, the mantra and the being, the Bodhisattva, the Buddha are the same thing. They're not different in any way. When you speak the mantra, that is the energy of the Bodhisattva. And so feel how being touched by that wisdom, kindness, clarity, energy of the Bodhisattva, feel how that feels in your body and your mind and your heart and your spirit. Because it has a particular quality to it. Okay, very good. So let's just open it up here. If you guys have reports, like how was that for you, or you have questions for me about anything, let's talk about that now. Or if you just want to sit and feel the energy, that's nice too. You're welcome to continue to do the mantra all the time. The Om Mani Padme Hum mantra is the kind of thing you can walk around doing, feeling buoyed up and inspired and uh, um, a flowing forth of kindness and caring when you're doing that. It's really kind of interesting. When we see clearly, we see that sky-like mind, and the sky-like mind includes everyone. It's all inclusive. No one's separated. No one's denied. No one's left out. There's always, just to make a seasonal reference, there's always room at the inn for everyone. And so what's really there when we see with, we would traditionally say when we see with wisdom, what's really there is openness. What's really there is non-separation. What's really there is embrace of all beings. And so that's why we say what's really there is compassion, it's kindness. It's only when we are not seeing clearly that we feel separation, and therefore can start to feel like we have to protect ourselves from others, and we have to single others out, and we have to create barriers and boundaries and difficulties for others, and maybe we need to make sure we've got ours even if they don't have theirs, and so on and so forth. And the whole gigantic mess unfolds from just that very first seed of just missing the clarity of what's actually there, which is complete openness, complete inclusion. And so it's when we're talking about compassion, it's not so much a kind of sentimental mood that we're getting into that's kind of syrupy and maybe meaningless, but rather we're just seeing clearly that there's no boundary. And when there's no boundary, it brings out a kind of very natural gentleness and very effortless sense of concern for everything in the field, for everything in awareness, for every being present, which is all of them. So at first we might, like we're doing, we kind of practice that feeling, but only as a way to like tune us in, only as a way to guide us into the already existing deep field of kindness that is already there, that you don't have to generate or manufacture. It's utterly present when we see clearly. And it's not different than the wisdom of seeing the openness, the wisdom of emptiness, the wisdom of noticing the connection of all things. As soon as we notice the connection of all things, then there's, together with that, without any possibility of ever being apart from it, is the kindness and concern and gentleness towards all things. And of course, that doesn't mean we lose all discernment and ability to, do what must be done and so on. But still at the core, still we never lose touch with that sense of connection to everyone and every being. That's the truth that we can just see when we see clearly. that it can never be the case that harm is compartmentalizable, right? So very often we, in our meditations, focus on the wisdom aspect, the prajna aspect, which is the emptiness, to see that there is no separation, to see that all boundaries are just a mental construction and the mind is naturally vast and open. But together with that wisdom aspect, again, never separate from it, arises the compassion aspect, the caring, the gentleness, the absolutely effortless ease of recognizing that we're all in this together. So again, if anything's coming up for you, or you want to say something or report something or ask something, feel free to raise your hand while I fuel the speaking machine with a bunch of caffeine. If you guys feel absolutely without questions, without comments, nothing you want to share, then let's chant Om Mani Padme Hum again for about the next 13 minutes. Okay? Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Mani Padme Hum. Om 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 Mani Padme Hum. Last one. Om Mani Padme Hum. Now sit, silently repeating the mantra in your mind. If your mind is wandering, just bring it back to the mantra. The mantra is your anchor. Feel it vibrating in the core of your being, bringing the energy and kindness and caring and wisdom of Avalokiteshvara deep, deep, deep within. Very good. Let's end that there. Now, if there are any announcements.
Didn't check the batteries of this. We'll see if we've got. We have batteries. Okay. Hi, everyone. That was delightful. Welcome back for those of you who are regulars, and welcome to you if you're here for the first time. if you're here for the first time, you might not know that after this ends, we usually just hang out. There's tea in the lobby, so please feel welcome to stay for tea. And someone brought cookies today. Who brought cookies? Are those for everyone? Thank you. So there's cookies. There's not always cookies if you're not usually here.
It's the infinite compassion of.
And so as 2022 is kind of coming to a close, we'll have all of our regular classes next week, and then the week after, most things are off except for relatefulness. Relatefulness is just going straight through. So if you come here but you've been wanting to try out relatefulness, Tuesday the 27th would be the day to do that. That's like our only class that whole week is relatefulness. So if you're like really wanting to come by Alembic for something in that week between Christmas and New Year's, two things happening. There's relatefulness on the Tuesday night. And then Anne Renee, who does the Soulful Flow Vinyasa class, she's the teacher I'm always talking about. She's very interesting because she's trained both in yoga and in Alexander technique. She's doing a class on the 31st. So she's billing it as the last yoga class of 2022. And it's going to be kind of extended class. And the theme of that class is going to be letting go of whatever you want to leave in 2022 and gently kind of bringing in whatever you want to bring in for 2023. So that is on the 31st. So if you're looking for a yoga class to go to that day, that's the thing to do. And finally, I want to thank all of you who donated. You may or may not know this, but your donation is tax deductible, and we really appreciate it. Your donation is usually split between Alembic to keep the lights on and the heat on and the tea water hot, and the teacher. But Michael donates his portion of the donations back to Alembic. So anything you donate for class tonight is effectively doubled. And Chandra will be back next week.
Well, I won't be here next
week.
So
yeah, Chandra's back next week, and then she's off again the week after. So Chandra will be back next week. So come back next week for that, and see you in the lobby for tea. Thank you all for being. Since there are a couple of people who are here for the first time, and you may be wondering, like, what the heck is this meditation center called Alembic? Like, why is it called that? It is a weird name for a meditation center. There's an apothecary, and there's a cocktail bar,
a really good cocktail bar,
and the company that made bass guitars and did the Wall of Sound for the Grateful Dead. So we're in good company. But an Alembic is a sacred container for transformation. And that's our aspiration for this space. We want this space to be somewhere where people can come and transform themselves according to their own goals. So we're not telling you what to do here. We're creating a bunch of offerings and allowing you to select from them according to what you want in yourself and in your life and in the world. So we're really glad you're here. Look forward to seeing you again. And let's go have some tea. Thanks, everyone. Thanks Michael.
Everybody. Thank you, Katie.
If you don't mind putting back your cushion, maybe above this cushion, please.